Hi, welcome into Running Miles. I'm your host and coach, Josh. Thanks for being with me today. Today we're going to talk about fat, carbs, protein, and electrolytes on your run. But before we get to that, let me give you a motivational speech. So, this is from the movie Rocky. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshines and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that. And that ain't you. You're better than that. Very powerful, guys. All right. So I like to talk about the previous run. Did 32 miles yesterday, and it's probably one of the worst runs I ever had. My gut shut down and I couldn't consume food. I didn't really want to consume any kind of liquids. So it was really bad compared to the previous week, which was like one of the best that I had. And with my research, I could only assume that I wasn't drinking enough sodium or getting the proper hydration. Unfortunately, it was, I'm training in the summer, so summer came back pretty fierce. I got spoiled, I think, with the last week, and I didn't really transition well. Because I think it was anywhere from 77 to 85 degrees, depending on the run or how hot it got. Could have got to 87, but it was where I live. It's 100% humidity, which is just a killer. I mean, if you live in Arizona or somewhere on the West Coast, maybe you don't have that much humidity. But if you ever get to experience it, it sucks for sure. We had a lot of rainy days here. So anyways, it's something to learn from and keep moving forward, right? Training's hard. No one said it was going to be easy. So you just take the training days and learn from the experience, and hopefully you won't have that again, and just be positive and keep moving forward. I think after this run, I'm going to definitely look into some salt pills or salt tablets, and hopefully that can help me in my training for sure. It was definitely something to experience that you never want to experience again. Fortunately, I was able to finish running and finish strong. There wasn't too much walking. There was a little walking every now and then. But yeah, it really does suck if your gut shuts down and you're not able to consume food and if you're not wanting to drink water. But yeah, I think at some point it got to be too much dehydration. So I should have drank more, and I should have had definitely more salt. Um, so next run is the night run, and that's 36 miles. And I plan on staying up all day, no naps, and then just going on the night run. And hopefully it'll be a much better experience than what I experienced yesterday. So other than that, I mean, if we look at the stats, I think, let's see. So the stats said that I got to a heart rate of 190, which is probably one of my highest that I've gotten to. And I was in all three zones, but it looked like mainly in zone 3, which was 42%. But I actually hit the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th zone. I really need to figure out how to see what zone I'm in with the food I'm eating. If that makes sense, and maybe I can figure that out for you guys. But yeah. I think I gotta get more sodium for sure, and obviously it's more than sodium. You know, we need to have chloride, phosphate, calcium, sulfate, sodium, magnesium, and potassium, and bicarbonate. These electrolytes are very important to your body for sure. You know, one pound of sweat usually equals somebody between 400 to 700 grams of sodium per hour. But I mean, that can even vary from person to person, and then depending on how hot it is outside, you know, and really hot weather, it can even be up to 800 to 400 milligrams of sodium. So I mean, it's really hard to figure it out, you know, because everybody has their own unique microbiome, and you know, as we are all human, you know, it's still so different for each individual person. So I mean, you could get a sweat test, and that can help for sure. But you know, even your sweat test can change, right, depending on how hot it is outside. And then if you're going up a hill, or you staying flat, or you going downhill, so everything can change, and it's really hard because you want to get the perfect formula, because if you have too much sodium, your body shuts down. If you have too little sodium, or I should say electrolytes, your body shuts down. So this is one of the hardest things to figure out, which would be nutrition and the sodium part of the race. Now, obviously, in another episode, I did mention that you can figure out how much sodium or how much sweat you sweat, which would be that test that you go out for an hour run, and you weigh yourself before you go, right? Maybe in bare clothes, and then you go out for the run, and then you come back and weigh yourself again in bare clothes, or with no clothes. I mean, I don't even know what that means. So no clothes at all, and see how much you weigh. And that would give you an idea of how much you sweat. Now, obviously, heat plays into that factor of how much you're going to sweat, because if you're running in 100-degree heat, maybe do the sweat test in 100-degree heat, and that can give you a better understanding of how you need to fuel your body when you're running in 100-degree heat. If your race is in the summer, or in the 100-degree heat. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, make sure if you're doing the sweat test, you're doing it in a condition where it's going to be like in the race, I guess, with the heat index, or what other weather you might run into at that time. And that can give you an indication of how much sweat or how much water you need to drink. But then including in that water, you got to put the sodium and the electrolytes back into your body. So, it's tough to figure out, but it's part of the training, and hopefully you can figure it out. I'm still working on it. So it didn't go very well with me, and I really failed on that. So for me, I just got to get better and learn from my mistake, and just be happy that I finished, and be proud of that. And I definitely never want to go through that again. But we'll update next week after the run. And I do believe that that'll be, I'm not sure on the weather, because the weather's always changing. But I definitely, hopefully, do more salt. And hopefully that was the issue. And I can definitely eat more and then enjoy the run a little bit better. Obviously, an overnight run is going to be hard, because the bathrooms aren't open, and also you're just really tired, right? So I think it's going to be hard, because you're extra tired. You're running a certain amount of distance, and then it's really hot. So yeah, I guess that's still in the summertime, so it's probably still gonna be pretty hot out there. So just gonna have to drink some more water, and I'll try the salt tablets, and hopefully things can change. I did take 2 ginger tablets, because it's just really hard for me. I bought some ginger chews, but I tasted them and I couldn't stomach them. So, and then just the thought of taking ginger with you, and then I guess just trying to eat that seems pretty tough. So, you can buy ginger in a tablet form. I took some of those, and they did help the gut feel relief for some of the run that I was running, and I took 2 of them, and thank God I did. I think they did help me complete the run for sure. If you're having gut problems as well, you can take peppermint, and I'm gonna see if I can find some kind of pill for peppermint as well, to relieve the gut pain if that was to arise again. But definitely would recommend taking ginger with you if you got some gut pain, and then take the peppermint. Should help relieve the gut as well. And you can always have that as some backups if something was to occur in your training. Now, I would say that it is recommended that you get at least 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour, and some suggest even more, like up to like 120. So now if you have a keto diet, you know, you wouldn't have that kind of number, and I'd have to do some more research on that. I don't really have the answers for you on that. The only thing I could think of is obviously you're burning fat, you're on the fat, and you're using your fat as carbohydrates, but fat seems to be burning in your body not as quickly. So I would say a good estimation off the top of my head would probably be 60 to 70 grams of fat per hour. I think if you go 50, that would be too low. Just because the body burns fat slower than it does carbohydrates. So if you were to go keto, that would probably be a good estimate. Probably just stick to 60 or 70 grams of fat per hour if you eat like that, I guess. With I would say with the fat, you're looking at anywhere for ultra running 20 to 35%, or maybe 50%. Depends on how you want to allocate your food, how you've been training. Usually ultra runners are fat adapted. So, you could do 50% fat, 50% carbohydrates, and try that in some of your running and see how it goes. You could try, 30% fat and, 70% carbohydrates in your food intake, your energy intake, and try that. It's just everybody has their unique microbiome, and unfortunately there's not really a wrong way or a right way to get the nutrition that you need. Then everybody can be on their own unique diets, which is unique of how your gut has adapted. So I think it's really important to train and to figure out something that's going to work for you come the race day. And it's just really important to figure that out, because the last thing you want is a bad race day. For sure, you want to feel good, and you want to be able to complete it. So definitely the process is to figure out something that's going to work for you. And protein, I would say you don't need much protein. I guess you could do like 15% protein in your fuel, and then do 25% fat, and then the rest on carbohydrates. Or you could just play around with it and do the math per hour. It makes it easier to do that and to figure out your nutrition when you're taking it on the run. But I mean, some people just do liquids the whole time, and they don't even mess around with whole foods, and they finish races no problem, and they feel fine, and that's what works for them. Some people can't do that. Everybody's so different and unique with their own personal microbiome. And a lot of people make these ultras definitely look easier than they are, with some of the times that they finish with. But if you just focus on yourself, focus on improving each week and learning from your mistakes, then you can definitely hopefully finish the race that you signed up for. And hopefully that can give you some encouragement as well. So I would definitely recommend to play around with your diet and on your long runs, to see what works and what doesn't work in your training. So, but if you're starting out, you definitely want to do that sweat test, so you can see how much water that you need to take in, and then probably start off with 500 milligrams of salt, and go from there. Try more, try less, and let's see what happens. But I think the minimum probably would be 500 milligrams of salt per pound of sweat. So for me, I'm sweating 2 pounds per hour in the summertime. So I would say for me, that would be 1,000 milligrams of salt per hour of sodium, right? Per hour, because I'm going through 2 pounds of liquid. And everybody is different, and so just do that test and try to figure it out that way, and then you can figure out what will work best for your electrolytes. So I've never done tablets before, sodium tablets. So I'm gonna try that and see how it goes. And I'll let you guys know next week after the long run, the overnight run. So I think when you're doing these ultras and you're going to be running overnight, it's probably a good idea to get one in, or maybe 2 overnight runs, so that way you can be mentally prepared for nighttime when you're doing your race. So it's just that preparation for what you're going to be going through. I hope this episode has been a little bit educational. I want to say I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, but it's really hard to give somebody a diet program, because I'm not a nutritionist. And I would say even nutritionists probably struggle with that as well, because everybody's so unique with their microbiomes, and what something works for somebody else might not work for them. So I would say do your best in training and try to figure it out. But if you are going the carb route, I think from this episode, you need to have at least 90 grams of carbohydrates, and then you need to take in probably like 15 to 20 grams of fat, or maybe 25 grams of fat per hour with that kind of formula. And then with the protein, you're looking at like 15 grams of protein with that formula, or 10 grams of protein per hour with that formula. So the protein is the least important, followed by fat, followed by the carbohydrates, and probably the most important is the sodium intake and water intake. So, but you need all four. But if you're doing the keto diet, then the fueling is going to be a little different. You're probably going to go high fat. So you'd be looking at like 60 grams of fat. And then you still want to have your carbohydrates, but just a minimum, probably like 10 grams for the carbohydrates, 60 grams of fat, and then I don't think you have to worry about the protein, because if you're getting that much fat, usually with food at least, you're gonna get the protein with it. But probably do the protein at 15 grams, 20 grams. Those are some recommendations. They're not bulletproof. They're just some thoughts. So you could try that out and see how it goes, if it's working, if it's not working. But you want to find some food that you'll eat, that you like, and that you can stomach. For me, I've been eating bread, syrup, and for my carbs, and then some peanut butter. But unfortunately, this run I wasn't able to eat the food, because my gut was just like, it was no thank you for the food. So yeah, I'm hoping I can rebound much better next time, and hopefully I have a different story. Remember, you can always contact me if you want to get in touch at runningmileschd@gmail.com. Be happy to talk over your schedule and get you a plan. And hopefully you guys are staying strong out there, and I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Thanks so much.